Johnson. I run the shop actually with my wife. It's something we started when I retired, so that we had something we could do together actually. So we both enjoy doing it, and we're not always in together. Most of the time there's one or other that's in, but sometimes when it's really busy, both of us have to man the fort, as it were.
Yeah, but there's not much room in here, is it? Is it the smallest shop in Helmsley?
It is small, but then again, selling miniatures really, it's surprising how much stuff we can get in such a small space.
It's an Aladdin's cave, isn't it?
It is really, and in fact that's a term used by the majority of people who visit us, yes.
Yes. So how did you settle on this as a shop, you know, and have you had an interest yourselves?
Most of my working life was in Beverley, and when I retired we did it for about 11 years in Beverley, and then we moved here about 12 years ago.
Right.
And the idea was I was going to basically retire again, if you like, and then we got the opportunity to take this little shop. We decided we'd carry on.
And did you think you'd be going on this long?
Well, not really, to be honest. We've been doing it 24 years now, so it's
you must obviously really enjoy it.
Nearly a second career, you know.
Yeah, fantastic. And how is trade at the moment?
Well, it always has been a little bit up and down in a sense, because it's a very specialised type of shop. We do occasionally get parties coming who are interested in the doll's house scene. Like, for instance, I had a party from America who came, especially one of them had actually visited the shop the previous year and decided when they came to England on a tour around England they would call and see me, which was very interesting and quite profitable actually.
Oh, very good, very good. Could you just give us a quick walk around the shop and just sort of tell us, maybe pick out some items that you think would be of particular interest?
Yeah, it's probably the cheaper range of stuff. And
when you're talking about cheaper range, this is possibly for somebody just starting off, or for children?
Yeah, well, somebody who although it isn't cheap and nasty, it's just reasonable, really. And a lot of the younger element probably will buy that, but some adults do, because they don't want to spend too much on the house.
Right.
And sometimes they'll mix a bit of what I call run-of-the-mill stuff with some slightly better quality stuff.
Right.
But as I say, that's basically the cheaper end of the market.
Okay, and then we move on to...
And then in here, you've got... we don't actually keep separate shelves with it on, in the sense that it tends to be a mixture of expensive and cheap, if you like.
Right, but they're all individually priced.
Oh, they're all individually priced, yes, yes, yes.
Whereabouts do they come from? Are they made?
Well, the run-of-the-mill stuff we tend to get from wholesalers, but a lot of we do tend to specialise in handcrafted stuff, and the majority of that well, comes from literally hundreds of different people.
Right.
I mean, over 25 years we've built up quite a few contacts, and for instance, we can sell you a pram starting at £3 or £4. We can sell you one going up to about £190.
Show me the £190 pram. That'll be locked away, I presume, with it.
Well, actually, when I say that, I just brought it in this morning to put it out.
So this is a new arrival into the shop.
Yes, we just...
this will be something to see.
The other day, and
wow. Gosh, look at that.
because it's got a baby and it's all dressed in hand-made outfit and cover, and most of the prams, like this one over here, which is a similar vintage type of thing, they are sort of copies of the original pram. But the people who make these are very slavish to detail. They are exact copies of the prams that used to be pushed around.
And would this be made in Britain?
Oh yes,
yeah?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean the handcrafted stuff, all of it is British made. Some people, I mean, for instance, we do some very nice food, and that's I think is about the nicest food on the market, and most of them really are very, very realistic.
And you're looking at about, just having a look at here, around the sort of the £3, £4
Yeah,
range.
yes. I mean,
It
it
is
varies. I
incredibly
mean, probably the
realistic.
most expensive items are probably the fish, because there's quite a bit of work in those. But
Right,
you've cheeses on a board going from about 250 upwards,
right.
and cakes and pies starting at just over £1, and depending on the amount of work involved.
Have you ever worked out how many different items you have in your shop?
Not really. There must
Could
be
you
thousands.
even? Well, there will be thousands,
Yeah,
won't there?
yeah.
And you sell what's all up here as well?
That's wallpaper, of course. You see, for papering the house, we sell carpets, fitted carpets and rugs, and then all the little bits and pieces to
And
go into the
paintings.
house.
And here we have paintings.
And pictures, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, most of those are pretty well reasonably priced. I do one or two which are actually hand painted, which obviously are more expensive.
Right.
We try to cater for all tastes and pockets, and it seems to work quite well.
And could you sort of describe your sort of, if there is such a thing, as your average customer?
Well, no, I mean they all vary. I mean, like the lady who we've just been talking to, she sees several houses. I mean, I have one customer who has 28 houses.
Right.
In fact, I don't think it was a story, but her son did say she's got so many houses. She lived in the bungalow, and she bought the bungalow next door just to put her houses
Oh,
in.
really?
But so really, I mean, you haven't really a typical customer. Everyone's really different.
Yeah.
But part of the enjoyment for my wife and I is the fact that you're meeting people, you can have a chat with them, and it makes the day more interesting.
Now, what about yourself? How many have you got?
Well, my wife actually.
Your wife?
She has 3 at home.
Right.
Yeah.
And does she regularly change the contents because of the wonderful selection here?
No. She the last one she had, she's gradually looking around for stuff, and at the moment buying stuff when she comes across it to put into it, you see.
Right.
You see, the main thing with this, you don't need to rush it. It's the sort of thing you need to do gradually. That's part of the fun, really, looking round and finding something which you think, oh that'll fit into my house, I'll have that. See, some of my customers now, they've had their houses for years and years, and there's very little room left, and they're just looking for something small and something rather special and different that'll just fit into a little space somewhere.
I bet it's quite addictive, isn't it?
It is really, because as I say, some people they get a house and then they fill it, and part of the fun, I think, was going around buying stuff so they get the second house and third house and so forth.
Yeah, that's great.
But it is a very sort of popular hobby. See, when we first started about 24 years ago, this was just a little, we had 1 or 2 little boxes. We did other things, but gradually we've specialised in the doll's house field, and we haven't done anything else now for the last 12 years.
And in terms of the exhibitions, the previous lady was mentioning going to exhibitions. Do you go out and about and go?
We do, but we don't go, say, to fairs or outdoor venues to sell. We only sell from the shop, and we don't do mail order because we decided we wanted to keep the thing manageable.
Right.
And it's, as I say, it is more a hobby than a business, although you've got to run it like a proper business.
And so there's no one else quite like you in the immediate area, I don't suppose, is there?
Not really, no. You see, a lot of the stuff that we have, we don't make a big profit on it, but we like to have it in the shop to make the shop interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were doing it purely on a commercial basis, I mean, some people say, well, I'm not going to stock that because I want a certain markup on it. Well, we don't work on that basis. If we can get a bit of a discount when we buy the stuff, well, fair enough. If we can't, sometimes we'll even buy it and probably only put a very, very small percentage on the cost. Then they're handling charge.
So the customer really benefits, because when they come in here, obviously, as you can see, there's such a wide choice.
Oh yes. I think, to be fair, you know, most people who've been in have been pleasantly surprised and quite happy with what they've seen.
Well, it's brilliant coming to visit you, and I wonder if you wouldn't mind just telling me what your opening hours are, so anyone wants to come down.
Well, we advertise that we're closed Mondays and Tuesdays. We're usually closed on a Monday. Most Tuesdays now we tend to open, but of course if it's a bank holiday week, we're open every day.
Yeah.
And half term we're open every day. And if we're a bit bored and we've nothing to do, we come down and open the shop.
Brilliant.
So
can anyone phone up just to check?
Oh yeah, I think that's. I always say to people, a good idea if you're thinking of coming on a Monday or a Tuesday, especially, please ring beforehand to make sure we are open.
Right.
But otherwise, unless it's an emergency, we do open roughly 10ish to about 4:15, you know. And we don't close for lunch.
Right, and you're open obviously on the weekends when there's lots of...
Oh yes, Saturday and Sunday. You see, a lot of the clientele, some of them are elderly. They don't drive, they've got to rely on their husband or son or daughter to bring them, so weekends can be quite popular.
Now, don't you ever wish, now they're sort of in the retirement age, that you had that Sunday afternoon where you can sort of sit down and put your feet up or do a bit of gardening?
Well, not really. I've always been a person who's been very, very active, and in a sense, I don't think I would ever really take to retirement. You know, I've got to keep going.
Brilliant. Well, long may it continue.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much, Vernon.
Thank you.
How many dolls' houses have you got?
Oh, about 5, 6.
Right. And what are you looking for today?
I'm looking for a bathroom fittings for a room box bathroom that we're doing for York Miniatures exhibition on the racecourse in June.
Ah, okay. So you take the dolls' houses around to different exhibitions around the area.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And how do you find this shop? Is it although you don't get here very often?
It's wonderful. Yes, I wish I was nearer.